Okay, how's everybody doing today? Of course, my name is Kent, and I finally made it to the Oceanside Pier. I wanted to show you the Oceanside Pier, and the reason I wanted to show it to you is because it's been in the news a lot lately, because there was a big fire at the end of this pier. It basically burned up the restaurant at the end of the pier, so I was going to walk down there and see how much we could see of it. So if you saw it in the news, it made national news. I'll just give you a little bit of a panoramic here of where we're at. We're in Oceanside, California at the Oceanside Pier that burned up about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was a pretty big news event. I saw it all over the news. And they had a lot of firefighting efforts to try to get it stopped. They had Camp Pendleton, which is a military base, Marine base just to the north of us. And of course all the different towns around here, Vistas, Carlsbad, Oceanside, they all contributed in fighting this fire. So while we're walking this walk, so I can show you the end of the pier, show you the damage the fire did. I'll talk a little bit about Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin's right around $60,000, not really doing too much right now, which is, in my mind, a little bit concerning because we've just had the halving. The rewards have been cut in half. Bitcoin is absolutely the answer for the financial dilemma or the financial problems we face in the world today, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. And actually it's kind of cold out. You don't see too many people at the beach. Well, you see a few, but not as many as you should. It's the day before, it's Mother's Day, it's tomorrow, May 2024. So what I want to talk about as far as the economy is concerned is that we've all been deceived. And we've been deceived by an accounting trick. And that accounting trick is that our government is borrowing money from the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve prints the money, which everybody knows. This is a well-known thing. I mean, I'm 64 years old, and it wasn't always well-known through my life. I mean, most of my life, it wasn't well-known. Nobody knew that this was going on. This was kind of a hidden secret. And maybe only a few people understood it, knew it, but not as many people as today. Today, this is widely known. It's disseminated everywhere. Everybody knows this accounting trick. They know we're being deceived. They know that the printing presses are what keeps this economy going. And they know that this is going to have to eventually come to an end. It's just like everything else. It's too good to be true. You just can't run an economy, a world economy, on this fiat currency that just gets created out of nothing. Basically being backed by the fact that the U.S. economy is world reserve the currency of the United States is world reserve currency. That's what backs the economies of the world. The economy of the world, the United States of America, is basically being backed by the fact that they have world reserve currency, and of course the currency is US dollars, what they use to trade oil. So for that reason, we're able to print the United States. Me as a citizen of the United States, living here in the United States, we are able to print endless amounts of money, and it covers up any problem that comes about. So when you have a war that the United States is in favor of, they can back whoever they want to back. You know, in the war in Gaza, they're backing Israel. And they can spend millions, billions, and trillions of dollars, not trillions, but billions of dollars helping out Israel. They can spend billions of dollars helping out Ukraine. So they can use this printing press accounting trick to create as much money as they want to create to do whatever it is that they want to support. Whatever side that they want to support, they can do it by using this way of borrowing money from the Federal Reserve and then having that money being printed. You know, they create it out of nothing, and of course we borrow it. And of course, when we turn it into a U.S. Treasury, then that has the full faith and support of the United States government. So it's got some desirability. People want to buy it. People want it because they know it's secure, because it's backed by our government, by the full faith and credit of the United States government. But that doesn't change the fact that it's just something that doesn't exist. It's just an accounting trick. Hey, just print it out of nothing. So we all know that's happening. It's happening every day. We all know it. It's well known, well disseminated. But the point of the matter is it should have failed a long time ago. This accounting trick should have failed 100 years ago. But it continues to keep going because nobody else knows what to do. You're just like, what do we do? You know, if you say, hey, we can't print money anymore, we're not going to borrow money from the Federal Reserve, well, then our whole financial system collapses, and we're no longer world reserve currency, and something else will take its place. So they just continue to shuffle it down the road, just to move it down the road, just to say, hey, too big to fail. All these little things that they do, just to keep the party going. Too big to fail. We have nothing else to take its place right now, and we don't want to lose the position we have. We don't want to lose our world reserve authority. So we just keep shoveling it down the road. And what they're doing right now is really showing up, because it's showing up in massive inflation because of all the money they spent. So even though it's printed money, it has no value because it's just whatever our government decides they want to borrow. The Federal Reserve just gives it to them, and we just borrow it based on our congressmen and senators, and of course the president, who are all financially illiterate, and all they know to do is spend money, because that's all we do. We spend money. And at the end of the day, every time there's a problem, like in the 2008 financial crisis, they just print more money and make the problem go away. Now we got problems with wars in Ukraine, wars in the Gaza, and just print more money, make it go away. We're just going to continue to print money and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Well, it can't keep going forever, and everybody knows it, and the only thing that is keeping it to the point where it just hasn't collapsed immediately or overnight is the fact that so many people will demand dollars, because as bad as this system is that we have, it's still better than most other places in the world. It's better than Argentina. It's better than most other countries in the world. So this is the kind of the default system we go to. This wild system of just borrowing money from the Federal Reserve that prints it out of nothing. And we're just keeping this thing going, inevitable. It just keeps going. It's just it's strange how this thing just continues to keep going. But there is an alternative, and that alternative today is Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin isn't printing money out of thin air. It's actually, there's a work involved with mining Bitcoin, computing power, energy. All these things contribute to the fact of how you get Bitcoin. You have to put something into it. It's almost like, that's why they refer to it as mining. That's a nice way of showing that there's something behind Bitcoin. People like Buffett and these guys, they just think it's just digital money, meaning that it's just something that it's like a meme or something like that. It's just something created on a computer and it has no value. No, that's not true. It does have value. It has value because there's work associated with it. Just as there is if you were mining gold from the ground. You got to start up those big caterpillars and get those big mining trucks going. They consume a lot of energy, and that's just the same way it is with Bitcoin. It consumes a lot of energy to try to get, to make Bitcoin. It takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of electricity. That's one of the reasons Elon Musk was so unhappy with Bitcoin when he actually bought Bitcoin and made a lot of money from it. Then he went back and said, well, Bitcoin's a bad idea because of all the energy that gets consumed by using Bitcoin, by making Bitcoin. So there's a work product there. And this is something that it's like nobody really wants to say what's really going on if you have a position of power. Because obviously, if you're in power and this system is working the way it's working, you don't want to put an end to it because it's working. I mean, that's what I think Donald Trump, when he was president, he didn't want to say too much about the cryptocurrencies because he said, I like the dollar. I'm in favor of the dollar. Why? Because when you're president and you're able to get massive amounts of money by just borrowing it from the Federal Reserve, that's a lot of power, and you don't want to stop your power by outing what's really going on. So, but I think more and more people are starting to realize there is an end to this, and there's going to be people that are going to step forward, just like people in the food system. The food system's horrible in our country. The standard American diet will kill you if you eat it. You eat the fast food, you eat the junk, you're going to die. Well, that's the way our financial system is. And a few doctors are starting to come out and tell people, hey, you keep eating the diet that everybody eats in this country, you're probably going to get heart disease and you're going to die. You're going to have diabetes and all the other stuff. Well, that's the way some people are going to be about our financial system. If we keep going down the road we're going, something's going to fail. It's not going to work any longer, and people are going to start to notice it. And they already notice it, but they're going to start to do something about it. So I don't think it's going on much longer. There's going to have to be some sort of day of reckoning, and that day of reckoning is coming fairly quickly. And as much as people want to say Bitcoin has no future, it is the future. It's the only future that we have. And if you don't want to get involved with Bitcoin, then you're running on a failed system, and we've been running on a failed system for a long time. So when that happens, I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon, because it's going to be a really tough time when it does happen. So, but I do hope that there is there's more and more people that start to move towards Bitcoin. And that's why I make these videos. I want people to know that Bitcoin is the future. And now that it has some people are understanding what's going on. Some people are, and now it's on the New York Stock Exchange. It's on, places like, big, places like ETFs like BlackRock and these. They've all adopted and they're accepting it. This is where we're going. And you got to go here. If you don't want to go here, then you have nothing else. Bitcoin is the alternative. And it's funny, the closer I get to this, you can smell the burned wood. Yeah, it's quite a fire. This is kind of like our financial system right there. That's what our financial system is, on fire, or actually it's fire burned up, and it's just, now I don't know how they're going to get rid of this thing. I'm out here, could drive out here with a Caterpillar and just bulldoze the damn thing. Someone's going to have to come out here, some boats, and fix it up. You got a dredge over there. So, yeah, this is a problem we're all going to be facing in the very near future. I hope it doesn't really cause people the amount of problems that it could cause them, because once we have to get a new financial system in place, and I don't think the dollar is going away anytime soon, and I don't think we're going to do away with it, but there's going to have to be something else that supports the dollar. Something else is going to have to back the dollar, besides just the fact that we just keep printing money that the Federal Reserve has. We keep borrowing money from the Federal Reserve that prints it. There's going to have to be something back. There's going to have to be a stable coin or something that keeps this financial system true and makes it more credible than what it is right now, because right now it has lost all its credibility. So it looks like they got us blocked off right here. I'll get up here a little bit closer and then turn around, flip the phone on me, and take a selfie in front of the burned out building. There it is. I have to get away from the music, hopefully, if that's what you can call music. So here, I'm going to flip it around on me. There we are, in front of the Oceanside Pier, burned up Oceanside Pier. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.